Before you make the move to Southwest Florida, you need to compare and contrast two of the most popular relocation destinations in the whole entire state. In this video, I'm going to compare and contrast Sarasota and Venice. Even though they are in the same county and so close in geography, they are so vastly different in culture. I'm going to take you through everything from the location, to the culture, to the experiences, to even the job and industry, traffic, everything that you need to know about living in these two communities and what they have to offer. I'm going to discuss that in this video. Hi, I'm Ryan Zakos. I'm with Zakos Realty and Design Group. I'm sitting here in downtown Sarasota at my office. We also have an office at downtown Venice on Venice Island. I was born and raised here in Sarasota. We've had the opportunity to help hundreds of buyers relocate from out of state. We'd love to be a resource for you. If you don't mind, please like, subscribe, and reach out with any questions that you might have throughout the video. Let's dive right in. So first, let's talk about geography. People don't realize that Sarasota County is a massive county featuring about 500,000 people at this point. Sarasota City is a downtown area. It's a city area within Sarasota County, and then Sarasota County has a lot of unincorporated areas of Sarasota County. Osprey, Nokomis, Palmer Ranch, these are all areas within Sarasota County that are considered Sarasota, but not actually in the city limits of Sarasota. In this video, I'm going to talk about Sarasota. That's going to be in reference to downtown Sarasota and its surrounding areas like Siesta Key, Lido, Palmer Ranch, or some of that area. And then now Venice is a city within Sarasota County that is an incorporated city of Sarasota County. There's also Venice, and then Northport is another city within Sarasota County. Just north of Sarasota County is Manatee County, same thing. Bradenton is a city of Manatee County, and then Lakewood Ranch exists as its own little township in Manatee County, and now also Lakewood Ranch has its own postal code in Sarasota County as well. Let's dive right into the meat of the video now that you understand the geography of this entire area. Let's talk about the downtown feel first. They're vastly different from Sarasota and Venice. In Venice, you have Venice Avenue in Miami, which is one little downtown strip. It feels mom and pop. It feels very historic. You will love the Venetian architecture that makes up Venice. It's historic in nature, and it is inspired obviously by Venice, Italy, and the architectural there. But what I love about Venice Island is it feels quaint, it feels quiet, it feels small compared to what downtown Sarasota has to offer. So it's very manageable. You can actually walk from downtown. It's going to be a lot of mom and pop shops, from an Irish pub to Killen's Ice Cream to a daiquiri deck. You could walk in, grab a drink. You could actually walk down Venice Ave all the way to Venice Public Beach from there. It's one of the only places in the whole entire country that you can be from downtown to a beach without crossing a bridge, because it's actually downtown is on the island. Sarasota downtown sits on the bay, but is a bustling city, has everything you could think of, from high-rise luxury condos to 100 restaurants, featuring everything from casual to fine dining, rooftop bars, rooftop restaurants, wonderful hotels like the Ritz-Carlton, Artivation, there's the Westin. These are all wonderful hotels that are in downtown Sarasota. Downtown is on the mainland. Actually, the city of Sarasota does provide a trolley that runs from downtown Sarasota over the Ringling Bridge to Lido to St. Armands, which is all part of the city of Sarasota as well. Vastly different. You could actually get lost in downtown Sarasota, but you will not happen in Venice. Venice feels historic, feels cultural, feels mom and pop, small and manageable, quiet, and downtown Sarasota is different. It's very modern, upscale, vibrant, and the culture just feels very different. There's a small portion in downtown Sarasota where our office is located in Burns Court that has a little bit more artistic flair to it, a little bit more history behind it, but that's just a small portion of downtown Sarasota. Now going into the beaches, things to do. Sarasota's beaches, from South Longboat to Lido to Siesta Key is the next barrier island south of Lido. And then you have Turtle Beach, which is on Siesta Key as well. There are wonderful beaches. Turtles are going to be a little bit more natural feeling, but overall, Siesta, Lido, Longboat, very powdery white sand, crystal clear blue water. Siesta is a very large beach from a landmass perspective, very commercialized. It's obviously the #1 beach in the world year over year, no matter what article publication you are reading in the US. Very popular from that perspective. Now, if you're looking for a more laid back vibe, more natural vibe, that's going to be Venice. So Venice is known as the shark's tooth capital of the world. and you can go any given day and fill up a whole entire jar of shark's teeth. And oftentimes there's the megalodon shark's teeth, the prehistoric shark's teeth. There's tons of conch shells and beautiful shelling that make up Venice, from Casperson Beach on the south end of Venice Island all the way up to the North Jetty. From my opinion, it's not known for being that powdery white sand as Sarasota beaches have to offer, but it does offer more of that laid back shelling atmosphere. If you're looking to kind of be more removed, that's a great place to set up. So vastly different on the beach perspective. For outdoor sports, you can pop in a kayak or a paddleboard and hitting going through the mangrove tunnels in South Lido in Sarasota. It's wonderful on the outdoor sports. There is a legacy trail now that runs from downtown Sarasota all the way to historic downtown Venice and to the historic train station there in Venice. So that's a wonderful bike trail that's paved, and you could bike or walk down that trail. It's a wonderful trail and an option for this whole area. As for outdoor things to do, you can't beat the parks that Sarasota has to offer. Obviously, Sarasota is such a bigger landmass area. So you have Myakka River State Park. It is 100 square miles, I think 37,000 acres that the Myakka River State Park takes up. So you can, whether you're doing an airboat ride and want to cruise down the river and do alligator sighting and hiking through the trails, they have a lot of stuff going on there at Myakka River State Park. Oscar Shear and Osprey is a wonderful state park as well. And then Venice has its own little parks, but they're not going to be nearly as grand and have as much to offer as Sarasota would. So Venice Island is known as kind of like a master planned community from obviously 100 years ago, but they did a great job of incorporating a lot of green space and parks and playgrounds into Venice Island. But even around Venice Island, you have Shamrock. It's a wonderful park. I think it's over a mile of trails on Shamrock. It's located on the bay in South Venice. That's a wonderful park as well if you're going to be in Venice that you'd want to check out. But overall, if you're looking for just outdoor things to do, the opportunity regarding the size and space, you have more opportunities in Sarasota than you will Venice, but they both are very much catered to the outdoor lifestyle, so you can't go wrong at any of those locations. As for boating, I would say that Sarasota has better boating. Venice is an intercoastal waterway that separates the island from the mainland. This was a man-made waterway, so there's really not much boating unless you're out in the Gulf, where Sarasota has bays, and there's tons of passes, so there's a lot more opportunity for boating where you can shoot up and down the intercoastal there, as well as through the passes to get out to the Gulf. There's a lot more better boating experiences in Sarasota. Like again, it has to do a lot more with the landmass because Sarasota is so vast, it's so large. There's gonna be some great restaurants that you can pull up to, bars and restaurants right there on the water, up and down Sarasota County along the coast there, on the mainland, as well as on the barrier islands as well. So some great opportunities for boating in Sarasota. Not as much Venice, but you can drop a boat in and get to Sarasota and the whole entire channelway pretty easily, and it's very accessible. Now let's dive into performing arts. Venice Theater is a well-known theater for Venice area. It's a small theater, but it's very dynamic and regarding. It has, plays and comedies and music. It has a lot of stuff going on there in Venice Theater. They've tried to very much enrich Venice culture into the arts scene. It's very artistic. They try to elevate the local artists, and they just had an art show there on Venice Island last weekend, and it was great right there on Venice Island on the south side, and it was a great little event that they did. Sarasota is obviously very much enriched in its art history and culture, with Ringling being one of the main components of the history of Sarasota, kind of the foundation of Sarasota, the circus theme being a big integral part of Sarasota and its development. That has now bled into other cultural elements, from culinary to performing arts. I just had a client in town last week that went to the Oslo Theater, saw a play. They said it was fantastic. It was one of the best things they've been to. That sold them on Sarasota, just that by itself. Having that high performance of performing arts is such a small city was such a big selling proponent to them. Van Wezel, you have world-renowned musicians and ballet and orchestras all here in Sarasota. And then the culinary. The culinary is wonderful on Venice Island. You're going to have more of that mom and pop, whether it's Italian on Venice Island or even beachfront at Sharky's or Finn's. There's some great culinary experiences, and Venice does have that offering that Sarasota doesn't have, is the beachfront side. There's no beachfront restaurants in Sarasota. Venice does have that. So Siesta Key does not have a beachfront restaurant. and Lido does not have a beachfront restaurant. There are bayfront restaurants in Marina Jack and Jack Dusty's at the Ritz, but nothing on the actual beach itself. Venice does have that benefit of having that beachfront restaurant of Sharkies and Fins. It's wonderful to be able to put your toes in the sand, watch the sunset over the Gulf. You can walk out to the iconic fishing pier of Venice. That's another big plus to Venice, having that pier. It's a beautiful pier, but a lot going on there. And Venice does have a lot to offer regarding things to do, but Sarasota is just a larger city, and there's a lot more infrastructure and a lot more opportunities within Sarasota to do other things regarding entertainment. So diving back real quick into culinary, Sarasota, I believe, has the most Zagat rated restaurants in the whole entire area of anywhere in the country, which is kind of crazy. Whether you want casual, upscale casual, or fine dining, Sarasota has that offer. Venice has some wonderful dining, whether it's fresh seafood or the local Italian spots, or even there's a local French cuisine that has a wonderful chef. There's a lot going on in Venice, so you can't go wrong either way, but Sarasota does have a lot more options regarding culinary. So now let's talk about real estate and affordability. This is where things shift a little bit. Venice is going to be a little bit more affordable than Sarasota. So if you're on a barrier island of Sarasota, whether that's Siesta or Lido, you're not going to be able to find a single family home under $1 million. Not possible. On Venice Island, you still can. You could actually find probably a house that you can walk from Venice to the beach for around $600,000-$700,000. It's not unheard of to find that, and I think that's a wonderful characteristic of Venice. But it's a lot more affordable than Sarasota, and it's also, because it is removed population, the traffic and the congestion are a lot less in Venice than you're going to have in Sarasota. Sarasota, tons of retail, tons of entertainment, tons of things to do. It's actually drawing a lot of people in from out of town. Even if they live in Florida, they're coming into UTC, Benderson, that whole entire area, Benderson Park, whether there's a circus going on. There's a marine aquarium in Sarasota. So there's a lot of things to do in Sarasota that's drawing traffic congestion. Venice is a little bit more removed from that. There's not as many attractions that are drawing people from outside. One of the people that live in Venice that are going to these things in Venice. That's something to consider, but affordability, Venice will be a little bit more affordable on the real estate spectrum. Let's talk about new construction and real estate. So new construction and real estate, if you're looking for new construction in Venice, you're probably going to want to focus on North Venice, Nokomis, or South Venice, which is going to be Welland Park. Welland Park is a wonderful master plan community there in South Venice. It has a Venice postal code, and it has its own town center. It's got tons of new construction communities, high amenity, rich communities, golf courses. And if you're looking for new construction, you're looking for a community that has everything that you need, from a resort style pool, fitness center, tennis courts, even a golf course community, Welland Park would be what you're looking for there. As for Sarasota, you're going to want to focus on either the Sarasota side of Lakewood Ranch. Obviously, we're Lakewood Ranch, but it's not in Sarasota County, all Lakewood Ranch, but then the southern part of Lakewood Ranch is in Sarasota. Lakewood Ranch has a ton of new construction opportunities, which Lakewood Ranch, as you know, is one of the fastest growing multi-planned communities in the whole entire United States. It's a wonderful place to focus on, as well as Palmer Ranch, which is in South Sarasota. They have both wonderful new construction opportunities, and then East Sarasota also have some stuff in the future that's coming, whether that's Sky Ranch, which is building out right now, or there's High Hat, which is going to be in the near future. But there's going to be East Sarasota, Northeast Sarasota, which is Lakewood Ranch, and then South Sarasota, which is Palmer Ranch, where you're going to focus on new construction. You can find new construction in Sarasota, probably in the 600s, maybe 500s, depending on whether it's a villa or single family home and up. And then it's going to be a hair under that starting in Venice. You could find some communities in Venice that might even start in the 400s. So great opportunities there. Then, like I said, if you're looking for townhomes or villas, it's even lower than that. So there's some good opportunities for new construction in the area, Venice being a little bit more affordable. Now we're going to talk a little bit about industry and job. The industry and job specter in Sarasota and Venice are probably the one thing that has always suffered or struggled for the area. Sarasota and Venice have always been known to be a retirement or relocation destination. So therefore, it's not super industry rich. The largest employer of all of Sarasota County is Sarasota Memorial Hospital. So healthcare is a big proponent to the area. Then following healthcare is going to be finance. I think the actual biggest industry that's in Sarasota is going to be PGT, which is a window manufacturer, and they employ a lot of people here in Sarasota, but it's a vast difference of the amount of employees that make up Sarasota Memorial healthcare system, doctors, hospitals, and the other medical facilities around the area to, let's say, PGT, which is actually a manufacturer. Regarding technology, regarding industry or manufacturing, it's really non-existent in the area. A lot of people that are relocating that are younger to the area are people that are either in retail or they have opportunities where they can work from home. And that's a wonderful thing about what these employers are offering throughout the country, the ability to work from home. Now, we actually are seeing an influx of younger families and people into the area. I hope this gives you a little bit of insight into comparing and contrasting Sarasota and Venice. Ultimately, in summary, are you looking for kind of a quieter, more affordable, removed area from Sarasota where you can get out to the beach, not deal with much traffic, go to a small mom and pop restaurant and, walk even in season at night where it might not feel like it's even season. You're not going to be swallowed with tourists and you're not going to be running into a bunch of people or having to deal with a lot of congestion or traffic. Venice might be that choice for you. And on the flip side, if you're looking for a more vibrant town where you can check out a different restaurant every single night, you can go to fine dining, but you don't mind dealing with that congestion and you're willing to deal with a little bit of traffic to get to a beautiful white powdery sand beach. It's a preference, right? It's what are you looking for? Are you looking for that white powdery sand beach that everyone else is looking for? Or are you looking to be more removed, more affordable? With all that being said, I hope that I was able to provide you some insight regarding comparing and contrasting both Sarasota and Venice. I would love to be a resource for you. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to text me or call me. Like I said, I was born and raised here and have had the opportunity to help a lot of people relocate. And I know these communities, my father knows all these communities that make up Sarasota and Venice like the back of our hand. Hope to be able to give you insight if you know exactly what you're looking for. I hope this helps. Feel free to reach out. Please like and subscribe. I look forward to talking to you soon. Thanks.